Alright, hello. So let's talk about this one. Alright, so we have this line here, which we say is not in the time record class, which is good because it's making an array of time records. So it's probably going to be for the best if it's not stored there. So it makes a new array of 100 time records. Now, time record is a custom class, one that was made specifically for some problem. It's not a standard thing in Java. It's someone else's class, like as if you had made student or mountain or cat, any of these things. So that means we don't really know what's inside the time record class, so we're not sure what each of these time card objects should have. Just keep that in mind as we go through this. Alright, now, we say assume that time cards has been initialized with time record objects, meaning that after they did this line, there was another, well, probably maybe like 100 lines, where each of these time cards got set like this, where we said time cards at at whatever index equals new time record. And we gave it, whatever variables it needed to make the proper time record. Now, it probably didn't actually do that for 100 times. What it probably did was search through some database, took everything from inside there, and then dropped it into each time record object on the time cards array. But we don't have to worry about it. So we pretend like that's been happened. That has happened, meaning everything in time cards is properly set. So now we consider the following code segment that is intended to compute the total of all the time stored in time cards. So we start off with a time record total, which is equal to a new time record with 0, 0. So 0, 0, that tells us a little something about it. It seems that it takes 2 integers. Well, that's about all we know so far. Let's keep going. Okay, for int k equals 0, as long as k is less than time cards.length, k++. So something we're going to be doing is probably taking time cards. We're going to be doing something with time cards at k so that we are able to traverse the entirety of that array. So what can be used to replace this thing right here so that the code segment will work as intended? Alright, well, we're supposed to be somehow totaling up everything that's in here. Somehow we take total and we're going to be, adding it up into here. Obviously we can't plus equals 2 classes, but that's the idea that we're having here. This stuff has to go into there. Well, let's see what we got. Let's see. So the first one says time cards at k dot advance. Well, we can assume that that advance means to put the amount of time forward by a little bit. Maybe it means that if we were at 0 hours and 0 minutes, or whatever these numbers are, we'd make it 1. Maybe instead we make that one 1. We don't know. But here's the thing. We don't want to change time cards. Remember, we are trying to get the sum of all of those time cards and put it into the total. Meaning we don't want to change those time cards. We don't want to give anyone more hours or minutes. We just want to get the total. So already we should be able to knock that one out. Alright, so here's another one. Total plus equals time cards k dot advance. Alright, so that's another one that one looks a little better, because we're adding this stuff into that stuff. So that's a bit better. Now, of course, there's still an issue here. One, we probably can't do that. Like, that's probably not okay. Remember, plus equals, that's for numbers. That's for numbers, and these things aren't numbers, they're time records. The other thing that should that kind of messes it up is this dot advance part. Remember, we didn't want to dot advance time cards. We don't want time cards getting incremented at all. So this is definitely, just in many ways, not the answer we want. Okay, next, total.advance. Ooh, that's better. That's much better, because we do want to change total. I want to change it by time cards at K. Hey, there's something. Okay, that's pretty good. And we have another one where we're doing the same thing. Sort of. There's going to be a slight difference we'll get to. So let's go and hold up these two, because, I don't know, they seem pretty good so far. Okay, this next one is time cards at K.advance, and it's wrong. Alright, so let's look at these two. Okay, fine, let's mention a couple of things about it. Time cards at K.advance. That is not okay. It's not this one. So it's one of these two. Now, to really get to the answer here, I'm going to zoom in. Now, to really get to the answer here, we have to look at what's different. Now, my more astute? I don't think that works here, actually. Anyways, my very observant students might notice that the difference is in this one. Oh, said some of them. One of them is accessing instance variables, hours, and minutes of time cards. By the way, this does also give us a little glimpse into how the advanced method works. It seems to take two integers, and then add the first one to our hours and the second one to our minutes. Again, we don't know that for certain, but we can kind of assume based on what we see here. Generally, you don't have to do that, and in this case, we really don't. We don't have to worry about how this thing actually works. We have to worry about this part that's different. Hours and minutes versus get hours and get minutes. Well, remember that our big thing we have to worry about is object-oriented programming, OOP. And that stuff involves a little word that we all know well, encapsulation. Let's write that a little differently. Encapsulation. There we are. Encapsulation. And encapsulation involves what? It involves private instance variables, accessors, mutators. Encapsulation involves mostly those things, and PIVs. Those are the fundamentals, the fundamental parts of encapsulation. Oh well, yeah, so we should choose then the one that did better, the one that used accessors here, get hours and get minutes. Meaning that while this one's almost there, it's not, because it's trying to access PIVs directly. And the whole point of a private instance variable is that it is private and cannot be accessed directly. You must use an accessor, like these two. Okay, and that's how we can solve that problem. Notice that's just, we didn't have to actually know what what time record had in it. We were able to assume that because of good object-oriented programming, they used accessors. Okay, and that's the end of this video. See you next time.